Welcome back, guys. First of all, I just want to say thank you guys very much for 1K subscribers. I believe right now we're at 1.03K, and that's awesome. I've had other channels in the past, but never really gotten to 1K subscribers on my own. So it's awesome, and thank you guys for supporting the channel and helping me build a bit of a community on here. And hopefully, we can build it much more throughout the year. Now, so many people get schooling and education confused. Today, so many people talk about the importance of schooling, but they call it education. And school today is not going to educate you. That is a fact. It's not just college that won't educate you. I mean, if you want to become a doctor or a lawyer, a very specialized thing, then you do need college. But for everyone else, you pretty much don't need it. But it's not just that. It's not just college. It's that you don't need the K through 12 education. And so many people will hear that and go, whoa, that's insane. But that's because you went through it, your parents went through it, your grandparents went through it, your great-grandparents probably went through it, and it's just become this normal thing when it's actually, especially in recent years, become completely stupid for people to go through. And it's stupid because you're not learning anything for the future. Not really. I mean, I remember there were at least a couple times where I was in class and our teachers were teaching us things using textbooks, first of all, because I feel like if you're a teacher, you should have a clear understanding of what you're teaching, but when you have to constantly keep going back to this textbook, I guess they're forced to use it, but when you have to constantly keep going through that textbook to really understand what you're doing, then probably not a good sign. But I remember a couple of times our teachers saying, you're not going to need this in the future, but we're still going to do it anyway. It's like, what? What's the point? Anyway, a man who was a teacher for about 30 years named John Taylor Gatto, he realized at the end of his career how terrible schooling is for kids. It's absolutely terrible. You put them in a place where you treat everyone like a factory worker. All schools are designed to make you be the same exact person as the person right next to you. You know the same things, you do the same things, you act the same way, so that you can just go out into the world and be good little workers for everyone. But that's not what we want. We want to be educated people, not people who have gone through compulsory schooling and are apparently educated, but truly educated people. So John Taylor Gatto came up with 10 things, 10 marks of educated people. I think this is something that should definitely be shared. Number 1, an educated person can write their own script, or at least a large part of it. He or she is self-determined. What school does today is it says, like I just said, you're all the same. We're going to treat you all the same. You're all going to do the same things, going to learn the same things, and then you're going to go out in the world, work some job you hate, get married to a person you eventually won't love, retire, and then die. But an educated person decides what their life is going to be, at least a large part of it. Number 2, an educated man or woman knows the ways of the human heart so well that they are hard to cheat or fool. Of course, everyone's similar in a lot of ways, in very, very many ways, but being able to understand people is incredibly important. And I think it's good that John Taylor Gatto actually put this as a mark of becoming an educated person. Number 3, an educated person knows their rights and knows how to defend them. It doesn't seem like a coincidence that in government-controlled schools, you don't learn about your rights. Isn't that a little weird? Actually, it's not weird at all. It makes complete sense why they wouldn't tell you your rights. Because if you don't know them, you can't defend them, and you can't defend yourself. This is actually something that recently I've been thinking, like, in the next 6 months, what are things that I want to do, that I want to get done? And one of those things on that list was having a thorough understanding of the Bill of Rights, Constitution, and Declaration of Independence. Because as an American, I should know those things. I should know them very well, at least the basics. Even though today, people's rights don't seem to matter at all. Even in America, if you defend yourself and happen to kill someone, chances are that you're going to prison for many, many years, even though it was in self-defense. But I still think it's very important that we understand how to defend those rights and what they are. Number 4, an educated person possesses useful knowledge. They know how to build a house, write a song, how to make a boat, how to grow food, how to design clothing. And if there is something they don't know, they know they can learn it, and they know how to go about learning it. This is another thing I've been thinking about too, because I'm like, it's better to know how to do things in the real world. Like, so many people know how to do things online, on computer, but it's like being able to build something, to create something in the real world is so much more important. And I'll have a video coming up maybe this week or the next week, but kind of going along the lines of creating things in the real world because it matters so much more. Number 5, an educated person can form healthy attachments anywhere they go because they understand the dynamics of relationships. This goes kind of along with number 2, knowing the way of the human heart, because it's being able to understand people and then relate to people. And I think that's something that would be awesome to be able to do. Like, no matter where you go, you can always at least have good conversations with people. You can at least interact with people. And then eventually you can form attachments with people in those areas, wherever you go. It could be in Thailand. It could be in New Mexico. It could be in South America. Doesn't matter, but you can always make those attachments. Number 6, and this is one that people definitely need today, and it is, an educated person can discover the truth without following the lead of experts. One reason why you need to do this is because if you actually pay attention, you'll realize that the experts are just there because they've climbed the ranks, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they spent years and years actually working hard. It can mean that they knew the right people, and they just happen to work their way up into that position. Or sometimes they may not have worked their way up at all. They just went right to the top because they knew the right people. The other thing is, a lot of times those experts are paid by people who want to put out certain information that is not truthful. And being able to discover the truth on your own is important. Number 7, an educated person has the capacity to create things, new experiences, new ideas. They can make something out of something else. They can see the raw material around them that's common and use it to create new things. I think that one just speaks for itself. Number 8, an educated person possesses a blueprint of personal value and a moral compass. Moral compass, especially, I think, for men, is incredibly important. If you have a moral compass, then you can better direct yourself through life. 9, time does not hang heavy on an educated person's hands. And this is about never being bored. Never being really bored. My dad used to say that being bored is good. Sometimes being bored is good. And I think that definitely is true, but it's also good to get to the point where, well, how could you get bored? You know how to create things, you know how to do things, you know how to figure things out. So how could you get bored if you have all this knowledge of things to do, and you could be anywhere and start doing anything, and then that boredom goes away and time does not hang heavy on your hands. Number 10, an educated person understands and accepts why death and aging are necessary. I think that one speaks for itself as well. These were just 10 points of what John Taylor Gatto thinks makes an educated person. And I think it is very correct. I think that what schooling has done has complicated becoming educated. Because becoming educated is not having a little bit of knowledge in all these different subjects. It's, at least for the great men of the past, it was, yes, they have a little bit of an understanding of a wide variety of subjects, but they're very, very, very good at one specific thing. And that's been cast aside because they want you to be a factory worker. That's what they want. They want you to go to school. They want your kids to go to school so that they're all the same. They all act the same, dress the same, talk the same, and work the same jobs so that they can make more money. And that's absolutely true. While also making sure that you don't know your rights. So knowing your rights, having a moral compass, understanding people, figuring out how to build things in the real world. These are all the main points of becoming an educated person. Anyway, guys, I wanted to say thank you very much again for 1,000 subscribers. It's insane. I mean, I've only done long form content, maybe almost 50 videos. So that's fantastic for me. I mean, that's just insane. So thank you guys very much. I really, really, really do appreciate it. I'm excited to see how far we can get by the end of the year. I think that'll be very, very interesting. But if you guys haven't checked it out, I do have a Substack where I do post the videos sometimes in there, or just small summaries of great men from the past. Summaries of men who I haven't covered yet and some who I have. So if you guys want to check that out, then that will be in the description, as well as Twitter, Facebook, and Gab will be in the description as well. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and please like this video and put a comment down below in the comment section. Thank you guys very much, and I hope you guys have a great day.